I have put this video off for a bit. The reality is that I kind of felt stuck on what to say or what to share. I think I've always been somebody who really enjoys documenting the journey. I also enjoy watching other people document their journey as an entrepreneur, as an owner of a business, whatever it is. I think the reality is that there's a lot of hard moments and you got to figure out how much do you share of those hard moments. I actually don't think that you need to share everything. It's obviously a lot easier to share the good times. But I think why social media doesn't have a lot of the bad times is because there's just so many things that you don't even know like what you should say or how much you should say. But for me, what happens is that then I feel kind of stuck or paralyzed on what to then create because it feels inauthentic to me. Like I feel like I would be lying if I said that this year wasn't hard. I thought that I could create a video that at least would document this moment of, hey, myself in the future, I had a hard moment. And just to remember that I had a hard moment, right? That it's not always good, that there are hard moments in business and you're gonna deal with those things. But I thought what might be better is just talking about what I actually have learned in this time. We have done a lot of great work this year, and I'm really, really excited about the stuff that we're creating for our clients. We've really, at times, have had some struggles with our process. What I'm learning is that you have to reinvent what you're offering to clients. As a service business, you always have to reinvent the things that you're doing. Content has changed a lot over the years. What brands need today is different than what they needed a year ago or even 3 years ago. We have to be able to adapt our process to the current needs. Sometimes that can be painful to do, but it's what's important if we want to sustain our business. I think that that's something that I'm learning is having to be more aware of what we're offering and making sure that what we're offering speaks to what is needed in the market. And I think that comes down to talking to more brand owners, talking to our current clients and making sure that what we're providing is not only valuable, but also fits into their current and future needs in the coming months. The other thing that I've learned is that when hard times come, you want to have people. You want to have people that you can go to. And that starts with building friendships now so that when you get to those hard times, you actually have people you can lean in on. There were a few moments where I needed to call somebody. There was things that were happening and I felt lost. I felt stuck. I didn't know what decision to make or how to make those decisions. And they were hard decisions. I needed to talk to somebody. And I was lucky to have 2 or 3 people that I could just go to immediately that have gone through similar situations and I knew could give me really great advice. I also had other peers that I could talk through things and try to figure out how to get out of certain situations. And that was also really helpful. But that comes from years of having networking calls and meeting people and putting in the time and effort for those relationships. But having been in that moment and being able to use them and lean in on them, the value was immense and super grateful for those people. I feel like I should have leaned on those people sooner. I think the other main thing is that it's okay to tell your friends that things aren't going well. It's okay to tell friends that you need to get help. You don't need to know all of the answers. It's okay to figure out and sit down with them and problem solve. And I wish that I was working with them sooner or just like talking about the hard things sooner before it was too late or where it got to a point where I had to make tougher decisions. I definitely learned to lean on my network and to lean on them sooner. Third thing that I learned is that business is just not always up and to the right. There's so many things that can happen. I need to be ready for those and I need to think about the risks and I need to think about the downside. And there's this weird tension between being hopeful and, pushing for growth as a business, but then there's also this other side where you have to protect your downside risk. Like you have to protect your other sides, like making sure that you are not growing at all costs, that you don't have anything to fall back on, or that you're not making things or decisions based on everything going well. Like, what are backup plans? Do you have a plan B, C, D? And thinking through those situations of, hey, if the plan doesn't go accordingly, what are you going to do? Because business has been going so well, I didn't really see kind of like the other side of things if things didn't go according to my plan or to my growth metrics. And I think that is very like difficult. And I feel like probably everybody learns that eventually, and it's a hard thing to learn, but it's a lesson I had to learn, and that's tough. And I want to be more mindful of not looking at or thinking about downside or risk as a bad thing, but actually as a protection. You've got to still be able to take risk and be bullish on yourself and your business, but you also have to be like smart too. And I think there's this weird balance and tension that I'm trying to figure out. And I probably lean more towards the hopeful, just go, just grow and go at that, and less about like thinking about the downside. And I think I'm learning how to balance those two things. The last thing that I've learned in this time over the last few months, and hopefully I can end this video on a more hopeful note, is that there are going to be hard times. But in those hard times, how you show up will either allow you to grow or to just absolutely crater. I think to grow, you have to be humble, probably cut a bunch of ego to actually lean in and learn from mistakes and learn in these hard times. I have been forced to recreate or just rethink my process, my business, our offering, so many things. But yet I believe that out of that hardship, we are actually going to be able to create a more efficient process, a better service for our clients. And I think we're going to be stronger and better for it, even though it has been more painful. I think that if I didn't lean into this time, I wouldn't have learned anything. And what's the point of that, right? The point is to take these hardships and learn from them and grow from them. It makes me really excited. Of course, who wants to go through hardship? And I don't think anybody wants to, but when you do, how you show up in those times is so important. And I'm just grateful that I'm getting to learn in these moments, and I'm really pushing myself to learn in these moments. And I hope that we can be better as a business. I can be better as a leader in these moments. So this is what I've learned over the last few months. The crazy thing is that even though the last few months hasn't been exactly how I planned them to be, the beautiful thing about life is that when you kind of let go of your plans and you let life be life, you actually find sometimes better things, right? And not to say that you shouldn't plan at all, but I think that coming out of some of these harder moments and harder decisions that I've had to make, we're gonna have a better business, a stronger business, which feels crazy to say, but I do think it's for the better. And I'm really excited about what we're able to do. We're working with amazing brands doing amazing work. The stuff we're putting out is awesome, and that gets me so excited. And I'm just grateful that I get to do what I do. And I love what I do. There are these hard moments, but when you look back on the year, on everything, even if there's hard times, the fact that I get to create and get to work with amazing people on my team and amazing clients and amazing brands, that's all that matters. The business will work itself out. There are times where it's gonna be feelings of like high of highs and lows of lows, and you gotta ride those things so that you can do what you do best and what I do best, which is just to create the content, really work and serve our clients. So I'm stoked about everything. I feel like I'm kind of coming out of myself a bit. I don't know, I'm kind of rambling here, but I feel like I didn't want to be this guy who's like, crying on camera, but I also didn't want to like shy away and not talk about the hardships. I have cried, 100%. I have cried a lot in my time. I didn't feel like I could keep creating vlogs and be like, yo guys, check me out. I'm running this studio. It's awesome, when it didn't feel awesome at times. Like it was hard, but I also didn't feel like I was able to show up and create in those moments. So I felt like kind of stuck, but I'm back to do more. And I feel like I've taken a step back to really process everything. Ultimately, I want this to be real. The reality of owning a business and running a business is that it's not easy. It is hard. It is really, really hard. It's a blessing to be able to do it, but it is hard. There are times where it is dope as heck, and other times where it's hard and you got to make hard decisions. I'm just trying to learn from all of those moments, the good and the bad. I don't think I need to document every single second of it, but I also feel like I need to be authentic to myself. I need to at least say or talk about the hardships without all the details or whatever. I don't even know who's gonna watch this. If you made it this far, you're a real one. So thank you so much. And that's it. Hopefully I'll have more videos to come, but I appreciate you. Peace.